first chapter of an attempt at a commercial novel, and it stands as a short story, though. And the title is Pitbull on a Wooden Limb. I brought the two drunks from next door. They had a car, they had flexible hours, and a certain edge that would carry them up to and through the worst dilemmas. A bottle of Jameson's and $200. My concerns were now theirs. They sputtered and cursed, passing the bottle between them. Harvey, huge, all eyes and beard, pushing out of his ruffled shirt. One ungodly, meaty hand sliding the bottle over the seat to Pat at the back. The other checking the errant progress of its pride, a jet black 63 Chrysler New Yorker. For me, these were his three main assets. His presence, a car that would pass as a boho limo, and his eyes. Harv was actually myopic. His eyes would wander, seeming to drift in some sightless middle ground. But when something got his attention, he was all there. He would take things apart on his back porch and stare at them for hours, sipping his wine and water. He loved to dismantle things, savoring their parts, a master of deconstruction. But he seemed reluctant to make them whole, as if when he did, he might be mildly disappointed that the sum of the parts could never quite match the promise of all those pieces. This fixity of stare made him seem the perfect listener, absorbed in slow consideration, weighing, trying to understand. At least he appeared to understand when I gave him 15 minutes on Greenberg and Newman, de Kooning and Pollock, flatness, picture plane integrity, action painting. He would be my abstract expressionist. Little Pat in the back was coughing now, scratching and bobbing, a battle-scarred Tom. Some few brown teeth argued in his usual lopsided grin. The jacket I'd given him hid the burns on his arms, but not the broken-fingered farmer hands, scrabbling for another Pall Mall. His gift? Pat could really take a beating. I'd seen him do it a number of times out my kitchen window. Unconsciousness or death seemed the only things that might slow him down or silence him. He wasn't really mean, but the constant war inside him could fill a small room and lock the eye across a large one. Near him, the prickly static could set your teeth on edge or make you laugh. People did both, sometimes at the same time. His voice, his only charm, and the war inside. He had the metabolism of a chipmunk and no time for briefing, so I made him a minimalist. I had dressed them and now I was taking them out. Harv in a frilly fronted tux, paint-spattered jeans and work boots, a Japanese sash for a cummerbund. Pat in elbow-patch tweed, a Grant-lean academic gone to seed. They looked enough the part. Artists on a bender, celebrating, if not quite celebrated. They weren't bad fellows, they just needed direction. I had given them one and we were heading west on King Ed. Tall laurels, big houses, bigger yards, and big barbecues. We were going to one of Vancouver's biggest annual events, fading art, money, position, and power. Harvey and Pat had none of these, and they certainly weren't up to the task I had given them. But the ensuing confusion would draw enough tea to serve me well, I hoped. They were stand-up guys, and if they could stand up long enough, these two were going to help me get into Fiorella's house and let me get back these Simpsons paintings.
I'm filming you. I'm filming you.
Thank you, Tom. That was wonderful. So now our last writer who's able to join us today is Henrik Bjorn. Are you going to do a transfer of the camera? Or?
Oh, yeah. That's hey, it's me, it's on. Mabel's going to do that. Hi,
Welcome,
folks.
Henrik.
Yay! Here's me. Well, I decided to join the writers group a couple of years after I started my first novel. I switched jobs just so I could attend on Thursday, and it's really interesting. We get these ideas put upon us that we write little stories about, and it really gets your mind going, gets you into a habit of putting something on paper. Normally I just write whenever inspiration strikes me. It could be in the middle of the night at 4 o'clock, all of a sudden, I gotta write! And it just flows right out. There's one that I will read at the end, probably not in its entirety. But coming back on the first steps, the very first writing exercise I got was to say, what do I wish if What do I wish someone would ask me? Well, April already did that one, so I'll start with the second one. The things that I know how to do well. It's kind of philosophical, kind of funny. I do everything well, if given a chance. Same answer I give to the question, how are you? Or how are you doing? I never say so-so or not so bad. We can do everything as well as we do. So to say I can't do this well, it's more like giving up. Not giving it a chance. Go with the flow, I say, and you will do well. Your health will be good, as well as your attitude. You'll be happy and radiant, so you will do well. Always try to do well, and things will go better. That's my advice. A wise answer to a real question, say? That was the second piece I wrote in the writing class. This is the third one. The reason I'm reading this one is quite suitable because we're seeing a change of seasons happening here. There's quite a change of weather here. So this next piece is about how and why of falling trees when you live in a cabin outside of the city. I've done that. So how to fall a tree in summer, or how to fall a tree in a summer camp. We all know that firewood should be dry, best cut a year ahead. This can be done depending on the size of the woodshed. Maybe you don't get enough in there for the whole season. So my woodshed has expanded through the years, yet days in winter are short and the tide's low at night, so I fall in summer often, usually mornings or at the end of the day, before or after work in the tides, or on my 4 days off every 2 weeks. You see, I run a shellfish farm. Tides run 10 days in a row, you get 4 days off. The lows are at night in the winter, during the day in summer. That's what I guess we did in Blackwater. In the summer though, we have guests who work night and day, studying the marmoset murrelet, an endangered species, I say. Well, be it fair to say, I fall well, so no danger really, to the crew that ends up with a tree crashing down right beside their tent, in the middle of the day, in the middle of their sleep. I know how to place an undercut, and with my opposing cut I can twist the tree, depending on the last point of release, to land within a foot or so of where I intended to be. Quite the sight, I may say, and a thrill for me to be so in action. I learned it by experience. Still, the murrelet guys felt like an endangered species as I felt. I say, have trust in what you do well, and with faith in others, we can all sleep well.
Wow.
Am I out of time?
Yeah, we're out of time.
Sorry guys, we just have to wait till the novel comes out.
Thanks to everybody for your listening ears, and thanks to the fearless writers.
Thank you very much to the Fearless Writers group, and that was really enlightening all around. We have one more act tonight. It doesn't say what they do, so this is going to be the big mystery finale, and they are called Aural, A-U-R-A-L, as in ears, Aural Heather. So just suspend your disbelief and let's see what happens. Aural Heather, please come to the stage.
You're going to have to give us 5 minutes, I'm sorry, because we have to set up. But that's all right. I hope you don't mind.
We'll be here.
We give it 5 minutes.
You got it.